Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're doing the final faction. We're on to Maulers. This has probably been the hardest list to make, but we're going to do the top 5 Mauler heroes, in my opinion, so let's get into the video. So with this list, it is just going to be covering overall throughout the whole game, and then I'll explain my decisions when we get into it. Now, there are a couple of heroes that I haven't tested that much, so the opinions may be a little bit skewed, but I've tried to ask people and get my best overall decision out of this. So number 5 on the list is going to be Savas. I couldn't do the list without putting him on it. He's just such a beast early to mid game. Obviously he does have that level 160 cap, but he's basically just he's basically amazing early game. If he went all the way to 240 and beyond, he'd be probably still one of the best heroes in the game. He's just got that much self-sustain. As you can see, his HP just never disappears. Well, he does sacrifice it a lot, but it always comes back. He just has huge single target damage once he gets his ultimate and starts throwing those spears so fast, and he's just a beast. Plus he wears leather armor, which means he can dodge a lot too. So just in the really early game, I find he struggles. I find around that like 120 mark is where he really starts to dominate, and then through to 160 he dominates, and even a little bit past that, but then obviously the level catches up and he just struggles. So that is Savas. Okay, now we're moving on to number 4, and this list, the Savas was just a bit of a no-brainer. 1 and 2 are fairly obvious. 3 and 4 were just really hard, because you go through like the top 2 of the ascended tier heroes, and then it's just like a big throw all the maulers in there, and they're all just meh, like nothing's amazing. So that's just my disclaimer for if you don't agree with me. Number 4, I'm going with Totem Dude. The reason I'm going with Totem Dude is he did recently get the buff, so his totems actually are not too bad. I'm going to ascend him soon on, I think, the Gwyneth account. He'll be like the next one after Antandra on this account. So I will test him more, find out more. But the reason is he's actually a really good option against Soren if you're building a Maulers. At this stage, I don't know why you build a Maulers team, because they're just on average just not that great. But you know, he is an option for that Soren, and he's actually really good at that. So he at least does have something that he's really good at. If you don't have the bait, you throw him in, the totems drop behind him, he turns around, attacks the totems, happy days. But he does also have a little bit of nice support. He does have this haste buff. It's actually not bad. It just increases the haste of the highest attack member by 50 for 12 seconds at max skill. It's actually quite a nice buff. It's not too bad. Then obviously he has his distracting totem, which is going to drop, and it does heal itself every second for 10%, which isn't too bad. In campaign, it kind of struggles because the enemies in campaign are just that far over leveled of where you normally are that they can kill the totems pretty quick, and that's why he's not as great there. But once again, I will test him a bit more once I send him. But in that Siren, it's just absolutely fantastic. And then you've got his healing totem, which is actually really nice if you can get it to live. Healing 3% of the health per second when it's down is really nice. So that was a really nice buff. I feel like his ultimate needs some work. It's just like, it just makes his totems deal with their initial stuff. I feel like it should do something. I feel like this ultimate, to really make him nice, let's go into test hero. I feel like the ultimate just makes them trigger their initial effects again. Isn't that great? I feel like it should be, I don't know, like doubling, like enhancing their effects or doing something like that. If that's all it does, and it does a little bit of AoE damage, I'd really love to see it do some more. Really love to see something more added into that. But that is why he's going to be number 4 on my list, because the Maulers are just this big bunch of meh, and he actually has a position where he can really shine, and that is the Siren. And when you fight against him in campaign, I know this is not an argument for anything, he is so annoying. Those totems, especially when the enemies are over leveled, holy cow, they're annoying. But that is Totem Dude, number 4 on the list. I know plenty will disagree. Let me know what you think. Number 3 on the list is going to be my boy Kaos. Hasn't seen much action lately, but I still just think he's a really solid hero. in the right comps. If you can get enemies grouped up so that you can just spam his throwing axes, he's really nice. Now, the thing about him is he comes down a lot to RNG. Let's go into him, just test hero. It's all about the RNG of those throwing axes. Once you do get his cinch item unlocked, those throwing axes, he's going to have a chance to catch them and throw them back again, and catch and throw back, and you can actually get some really nice effect out of it. Once you get his signature item to level 20, he's also going to heal from those throwing axes, so he can really shred groups of enemies with those axes. But it's going to come down to a lot of RNG, because when I use him in campaign, a lot of games it's just retry until you get him to throw 4 axes in a row, and then it's not too bad. He does also have not a bad buff for his teammates, giving extra life leech, which is pretty handy. And then his ultimate isn't the greatest. It makes him jump away and attack another target. However, it does sort of reset his AI and make him throw his axes again. So you can play this on manual, use his ultimate as soon as you finish throwing axes, jump, and then you get to throw some axes again. So not too bad. Also has the cleave mechanic, where if he's in melee range, his attacks cleave, and if he's further away, he does more damage basically. So he's a bit of a everywhere hero. He does wear plate, but you normally want to leave him in the back row and just spam some axes. So that is Kaos. Once again, doesn't absolutely shine anywhere, but just a generally not too bad Mauler in that big bunch of meh, like I said earlier. Okay, on to number 2. It's going to be Brutus. Everyone knows Brutus. Basically, he can do some really nice damage. He's got the invincibility, he's got the passive, he's just really, really nice. So he's got the passive where he's going to retain 1 health for up to 8 seconds once you max this out. Really nice. He's got this roar, which is a defense down. Not a defense down, it's actually a physical damage taken up sort of thing. And it also makes them immune to dodge, or makes the enemies not be able to dodge at the level 3 skill up, which is absolutely fantastic because dodge gets so annoying. So just putting this, just this roar by itself makes Brutus not a bad hero. It's just like your enemies, they can't dodge and they're gonna take extra physical damage. Really nice for his physical damage team. And then he's got this, which it raises his damage according to how low his health is, and because he stays invincible, when he drops to 1 HP for 8 seconds, he's going to deal some really nice damage. His ult is an AoE, which does really big damage, especially on the main target. Makes him immune to magic damage, and also heals him up while he's using it. So he's just a really nice hero. Only has 1 effective like attack ability, which is his ultimate. The others are all just obviously the raw, the passives, but he just has a lot of damage output, especially when you combine it on top of that raw, and then his ultimate is just huge. But plus he does have a wicked skin. I know some people don't like it, but hey, it's pretty cool. Let's go test hero, and pretty much, yeah, that's the Brutus number 2, because no matter where he is, if you only have an elite copy of him at a low level, he's still going to have that survivability of 4, 7, or 8 seconds. You can throw him in the front row, doesn't matter what gear he has that guaranteed survival time, so you can put something behind him that you really need to survive for a little bit and get to their ultimate, and then it's going to be fantastic. So he's just a really solid unit throughout the game, and yeah, that's Brutus number 2 on the list. Before we get into number 1 on the list, which I'm sure everyone knows who it's going to be, I'd just like to say, yes, there's things like Verk's not bad, Warwick's not bad, yeah, even the Chicken's not bad, Titus, like, there's... I really would like to see some love given to Maulers, because, like I said, it's that bunch of non-special, non-shining, just little put in the box of we're okay kind of thing, and we don't shine anywhere. Whereas then you look at like the light bearers who just absolutely dominate everything. You got Wilders who are fantastic now with they even got a decent damage deal, not the best, but they do have Eron as one of the best damage dealers. That's Solace. I'm not too bad on her, but they've just got mad CC and stuff like that. And then yeah, light bearers, like, don't even get me started. And then you look at Maulers and it's just like, oh, but would love to see Maulers get a little bit of buff, see some love, maybe get someone with some decent crowd control or something like that. Just show them a little bit of respect, Lilith. I know they're the barbarians of the group, but give them a chance. Number one is Sofia. If you've got to endgame and you've seen any sort of damage charts and stuff like that, you'll see that Sofia is an absolute beast, especially in the guild hunts and stuff like that. I've covered her in depth before, but basically she's got this ability here where she fires a magic projectile. It stuns the first enemy it hits and then splits. Signature item is going to cause it to become her auto attack eventually, which is really nice. At the beginning of the battle, she sets up a like a pyramid thing, which is going to increase the damage done of her allies and reduce the damage done of her enemies. Well, reduce the haste anyway, which is effectively reducing the damage, same thing. So yeah, really nice in that sense. Then you've also got this one where she puts a shield on the most forward ally, and then she's got a really nice ultimate where she charges it up and it deals huge damage. 660 multiplier AoE is a really nice multiplier, even though it is only a small AoE. But basically the main thing is that this second skill becomes her auto attack after a certain period of time on her signature item. Basically, she just stacks her damage, and then once it reaches a certain cap, she's going to start spamming that. So in campaign, you may get stages where you don't actually unlock that ability to make her auto attack become that ability, but that's the one there. She just did it. She makes a little orb above her head and throws it like that. That becomes every attack, and it's actually like really big damage. There used to be a bug where she could get that effect, which normally you need level 30 to get that effect, but she could get it at level 1 on her signature item. I think they fixed it, haven't tested it, really got to build her on one account. But yeah, Sofia, just an absolute beast for damage endgame, and she definitely does shine above all the other Maulers in my opinion for that reason. So hopefully they get some love, but that is my Maulers list. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreements out there, so let me know in the comments what you guys think and what your list would be. But as for the Maulers, that is it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.